Hi, I'm Emily. I'm the mum of Charlotte, who is one of the young performers in the Vincent Dance Theatre's production of Hold Tight. Charlotte has loved dancing and performing since she was about 3. She spends most of her spare time doing dance classes and has been in various performances and productions. So we heard about this opportunity through Charlotte's dance school, and it was just an opportunity for her to perform. So she went along and auditioned and was delighted to be selected. For Charlotte, she's used to doing performances previously where there's been a script or she's given the dance moves and follows the sequence. So I think this was quite different from what she's used to. So I think to begin with, I think she found it a bit weird. It was a bit different to anything she'd done before, but over time she seemed to really enjoy it. She formed some really lovely friendships with the other young performers and with the adults in the show, and always came home from rehearsals happy but tired, especially as time went on, tired. I've seen from now being on the tour that they all seem to have a lovely relationship. And I've also noticed how much the adults really look out for the children, and I can see that she's really fond of them. So I think the challenges for her were more about providing the feedback. I understand that at regular times the young performers were asked for feedback, and I think she found it quite difficult to verbalise her feedback. Maybe that's partly her age. I think even as adults, sometimes we find it really hard when we're asked for feedback. So I think that's quite a difficult thing at the age of 12 to be doing. I think one of the big highlights has been the friendships that she'd made with the other young performers. I think she has enjoyed the whole process as well. I think she just loves to be on the stage, and I think that she's really enjoyed her time in the rehearsals. This is the first time that she's ever toured, and I think she's loved it. I think she's loved being with the other performers. She's loved being backstage. She's loved being on the stage, but I think it has also been tiring as well. She's actually very well motivated, and I think that she is busy. She does lots of clubs, lots of dance clubs after school on a regular basis, so she's used to fitting her schoolwork into the time that she has available. I think that Charlotte's really resilient. And I think that we're obviously here to support her, but I think that she manages that change okay on her own. I haven't noticed any problems with that. So I think during the whole rehearsal process, actually, although we're at home supporting her when she comes home and making sure that she's okay, we're not all that involved. So then you're suddenly thrown into it when you go on the tour. I think for us as a family with 2 other children, it's been challenging. We both work, so organising the tour schedule has been a bit tricky, but we were aware that was coming up and made plans accordingly. But I've enjoyed my time with Charlotte on my own. I don't get a lot of that time when I'm at home, and I think I love watching her perform. It's really lovely to see her with the other performers as well, and those friendships that she's formed. It shocks me because it's not me at all, but she just loves it, and I think that really just shows. She doesn't really seem to get very anxious. She does sometimes get tired, but I can see that and take a step away. But actually, she's always just excited about performing and being on stage. I think that a lot of the content goes over Charlotte's head. I've had conversations with her all through the creative process and through the tour to make sure that she's okay with the content. But although she's aware of what's going on in the world and has obviously lived through the pandemic, she doesn't seem to be affected by the content at all. Which makes me think that a lot of the content is going over her head. I found that the first time that I watched the show, I found it really emotionally intensive and really thought-provoking, and it is the content of the show, but I do think it's also because it's my daughter on the stage. I think that the content that I'm seeing is around Ukraine, and I think that's that's why I find it so difficult when Charlotte's lying on the floor. That could so easily be us, our family, Charlotte, on the borders. And I think that's what I find the hardest. I think I feel very proud, I feel very emotional, and I think I feel really lucky to have such a lovely daughter who's amazing at performing, and I think she has real stage presence. Obviously I'm quite biased, but